Have you ever felt like a fraud? Even when the world is applauding you, there's a heavy, silent weight pulling at your heart. This is the hidden struggle of self-loathing. It's an internal narrative that tells you you aren't enough, no matter how much you achieve. Today, we'll explore the signs of this internal battle and how it quietly sabotages your happiness and personal success. One of the most prominent signs is the presence of a harsh inner critic. It's like a storm that follows you everywhere. Every small mistake becomes a catastrophe. A spilled glass of water isn't just an accident. To the inner critic, it's proof of failure. The words "you can't do anything right" and "it's all your fault" begin to swirl around you, creating a cage of negativity. When someone offers kindness or forgiveness, you find it impossible to accept. You feel like you don't deserve the hand reached out to you. Then comes the trap of comparison. In a digital age, we constantly measure our internal blooper reel against everyone else's highlight reel. As you scroll, you feel yourself becoming smaller. The vibrant avatars of perfection make your own life feel grayscale and insignificant. It's like running a race where you only look at the feet of those ahead of you. You never see the beautiful path you're already on. This leads to the most destructive phase, self-sabotage. When an opportunity for happiness appears, self-loathing whispers that you'll eventually fail anyway. So instead of walking through, you turn away. You retreat into the familiar comfort of the dark, even if it hurts. It's like building a beautiful tower, brick by brick, only to knock it down yourself just as you reach the top. But awareness is the first step toward healing. You don't have to fight your shadow. You have to learn to sit with it. As you acknowledge these feelings without judgment, the light begins to change. The cold tones of self-criticism melt into the warmth of self-acceptance. Healing is not about being perfect. It's about being kind to yourself in your imperfection. Resilience can grow in the most unlikely places. Remember, you are worthy of the same love you so freely give to others. Self-hatred is rarely a sudden explosion. It is a slow creeping foundation of neglect that starts within the mind and manifests in our surroundings. Look around your space. A disorganized mind often creates a disorganized home, where every pile of clutter feels like a physical weight on your soul. We begin to ignore our basic needs. A healthy meal sits untouched, gathering dust as we tell ourselves we don't deserve the energy it provides. The clock becomes a silent witness to our struggle. We stay up far into the night, punishing ourselves with exhaustion because sleep feels like a luxury. Think of a wilting flower in a beautiful vase. The vase is your potential, but without care, the flower inside begins to fade and bow. When someone offers kindness or a compliment, how do you react? For those struggling with low self-worth, positivity feels like a threat. We push away the warmth, fearing that if we accept it, we will eventually be found out as a fraud or a disappointment. Our eyes become magnifying glasses searching for the smallest flaws. We ignore a beautiful marble floor just to fixate on one tiny crack. This obsession with imperfection convinces us that we are broken beyond repair, even when the world sees something quite different. Happiness starts to feel like a party we weren't invited to. We watch the joy of others from a distance, behind a blurred window. Eventually, the weight of these feelings leads to isolation. We begin to walk away from the very people who could help us. Every time we try to reach out, a voice inside whispers that we are a burden, that our pain is too heavy for others to carry. We look in the mirror and see a stranger. The reflection is distorted by the lies we tell ourselves about our own worth and beauty. But even in the deepest darkness, there is a spark. Healing begins when we stop fighting ourselves and start practicing a little self-compassion. Self-hatred isn't always a loud voice. Sometimes it is the quiet shadow that dims our light and keeps us from truly living. The first sign is the constant need for a mask. We create a persona that the world expects, fearing our true selves aren't enough. In a crowd of happy people, we perform. We laugh at jokes we don't find funny and nod when we want to scream. But behind our backs, our hands are trembling. The effort to maintain the illusion is exhausting, draining every bit of our internal energy. Eventually, the mask begins to crack. We can't hide forever. The weight of the world's expectations becomes a burden too heavy to carry. The second sign is a deep-seated fear of dreaming big. We look at success and think, that is for others, but never for me. We stand at the base of our potential, looking up with longing, yet we feel anchored to the ground by our own insecurities. These chains are labeled fear of failure. They convince us that staying small is safer than reaching for the stars and falling. Instead of walking the path of blooming flowers and growth, we retreat. We choose the comfort of a small, gray box. In this box, there are no risks, but there is also no light. We settle for a life that is safe but hollow. But awareness is the first step toward freedom. Recognizing these patterns allows us to start breaking the chains of self-doubt. Healing is not an overnight process. It begins with the courage to remove the mask and face our true reflection with kindness. When you look into the water, don't look for flaws. Look for the resilience that kept you going through the hardest days. You are not alone in this journey. Sometimes all we need is a gentle hand to remind us that we are worthy of support. As we accept ourselves, the heavy chains of the past begin to dissolve. They turn into light, fueling our steps forward. The mountain is still there, and the path is open. Every small step you take is a victory over the darkness. Remember, you are worthy of love, especially your own. Be patient with your heart as it learns to beat with hope again. If this video resonated with you, like and subscribe to join our community. Together, we can find the path back to ourselves.